Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In my today's video, I'm going to discuss with you about a company called Tembo Global Industries Limited. We're going to go through their recent Q1 FY27 result and the con call summary and see how the management is doing as per the promises what they have promised. Right. Before I get into the numbers and everything, just for the benefit for everyone, I'll just take you through the business and just show you what does the business actually do. So if you look at the screen, right, you might see that they have a textile business. So that was their legacy business. So earlier they were only into textile. Then they started their engineering solutions where they have mostly EPC project delivery and manufacturing structural support system. So over there, they have grown a lot in the past year, and the company has moved away from the textiles dependent to engineering and solution, and which has helped them to grow at a much faster rate as well as improve their overall margins. And the other places that they have entered is solar power and defense and aerospace. So these are the recent ones. Solar power they are still working on, and defense and aerospace also they have certain agreement. So in short, if you see the business, right? So earlier the company was in textiles, then they pivoted and they realized that that's not what's going to work for them. So they entered into engineering solutions. They became successful over there, and slowly by slowly they entered into solar power and defense. And recently they've got into a JV for the UAE components manufacture. So this is their whole business model. So let's look at their recent result and how well they did in Q1 of FY27. So if you look at their screen over here, right? So the revenue grew by almost close to 22% from 248 crores to 302 crores. EBITDA grew by almost 75% from 28.2 crores to 49.2 crores. And we can clearly see the improvements in the EBITDA margin from 11.4 to 16.3%. And if you look at the PAT also, it grew by almost 55% from 20 crores to 31 crores. And we can see the PAT margin also improving from 8.1% to 10.3%. So over here, the only thing that I was disappointed is their quarterly growth of 22%, because they had achieved a revenue of around 1,000 crores at the end of FY26, and they said they're going to achieve the revenue of 1,600 crores by the end of FY27, which is a growth of almost 60%. So I was at least expecting growth of close to around 40 to 50% at least in quarter one. But over here, they grew only by 22%. So that is the only thing which I didn't like. But if I see in terms of the margins, those were the good signs, because as the dependency of textile is reducing and the contribution from engineering and EPC is increasing, the overall margins are also improving. And that's why we can see a good operating leverage, because the sales grew by only 22%, but the PAT grew by PAT almost double. So those were the things related to the P&L statement. And if you look at their revenue breakup, right? So if you look at the screen over here, right? So if you look at the percentage revenue mix between textile and engineering products, that has improved a lot, because now engineering product contribute to around 99% and textile only around 1%. And if you look from the geographical mix, right, in terms of the revenue coming from the domestic market or the export market, the domestic contributes to 85% of the revenue, and exports contribute to the 15% of the revenue. So in short, the company has done decent, I would say, in terms of the sales growth. And then obviously in terms of, if I look at the margins have done quite well. And the way they are were trying to diversify from textiles to engineering, that has done quite well, because the contribution from textile has completely reduced and the engineering has increased, and which has helped them improve their margins also. And if I go through further from the management call, and I'll update you through all the four segments, which is engineering and EPC, solar, their defense and aerospace, all the updates. So again, on the call, the management is still bullish, and they say the way things are going, they are still very confident of achieving the revenue target of 1,600 crores for this year. So they are like, how things are progressing, we are definitely going to achieve them. And if I go through the engineering APC, the management said in terms of this segment alone, there was a growth of close to around 172% YOY. They have an order book of around close to 1,500 crores. And in the pipeline, which is the bidding pipeline, they have around 2,400 crores of in the bidding pipeline which is there. And another thing, what the management said, right? They don't see this demand slowing. They said they see a growth demand in across oil and gas, water infrastructure, marine projects, refineries, industrial and construction, and fuel farms where they generally do these EPC and provides their product. And in terms of their Vasai plant, which they had increased their capacity from, I think earlier from 18,200 metric tons to almost close to 1 million metric, 1 lakh metric tons, right? Over here, current capacity utilization at the end by the end of Q1 of FY27 was around 40 to 45%, and by the end of FY27 they want to achieve around 65 to 70% utilization. So which is a good sign, and let's see if it progresses well. See, for any manufacturing company, the better the capacity utilization, the better the revenue generation, as well as they get the operating leverage. And if you look in terms of solar, which they pivoted, right? So as of now, the management has updated that the 4 solar sites are operational now. Remaining will be commercially operation by Q3 of FY27. And from solar, what they are mainly expect. So this whole solar plant, they have an agreement of close to 25 years, where they will be providing these electricity to the solar farms, and they'll generate a revenue of close to, I think, around 70 to 90 crores every year. So the management is said, right, this segment will give them an how to say generated stable and recurring cash flow. So once these farms, solar sites are up and running, and they are giving the electricity to the government as agreed, right? The revenue is stable. There are no changes in it, because see, if in engineering that they have, right, it all depends upon the order book. If the order book increases, the revenue increases. But if there is a issue with the order book, then there is a problem. But in terms of this solar, where they have diversified and doing their business, over here the revenue will be very stable. And if you look at their defense segment, right, defense and aerospace, so I'm going to talk about first the arms and ammunition, and then I'm going to talk about aerospace, because aerospace is the new one which came recently in this Q1 of FY27. Before this, there was no information about it. So over here, if you look at the arms and ammunition part, which I've already updated in my previous video, so they have got the manufacturing license for their subsidiary Tembo Classic Engineering Private Limited. Over here, the land has already been acquired in Amravati for the manufacturing facility. And over here, for the ammunition that they're going to produce, right? The first batch is going to come at the end of Q4 of FY27, which shall have a potential revenue of around close to 70 to 100 crores. And this plant, which they are opening up and start going to ramping up, it's going to be completely operational by only by FY28. And the revenue potential for the from this plant is around 300 to 350 crores. And the most important thing over here, right? It's not just about the revenue capacity of this, defense part. It's about the margins that is going to contribute to the bottom line. Because over here, the management is saying that the PAT margin that they have is around close to around 30 to 35%. So currently, when we saw the P&L statement, right, the overall PAT margin is around 10%. Now imagine that the defense segment that they're starting, they're going to have a margin of 30 to 35%, which is going to give them immense operating leverage. And the capex required for this overall thing is around 250 crores. So as and when the capex will be used, the management will give details on that. And if we and the other good thing is, right, the plant that they are establishing and the manufacturing they did, they already have a confirmed buyback agreement. So it's not like the company is going to manufacture ammunition and then look for buyers. The buyers are already there. The agreement is already in place. So this is a confirmed revenue generation for them. And the other part, which is the aerospace, right? Which is said, so they have got into a strategic joint venture with a company from Italy, and then a company called Propo Japan. And so, what over here the company is going to do, right? They're going to start producing UAE components by from start of Q3 of FY27 in their Vasai facility. Over here, once the whole thing is up and running, it has a revenue potential of close to 100 crores. And this also has a very good PAT margin of close to around 30 to 35%. And one thing what the management said, obviously, as in more details will come in future, I'll study about this later. They said the components that they're going to manufacture for the UAVs, right? They will be the only company in India which who will be doing this manufacturing. So if that is the case and if that is so exclusive, I think it's going to benefit them from the long term. So I've told you everything about the results and the con call. So I'll just conclude it by saying what I liked and what I didn't like, right? So what I liked in terms of is, right, the dependency on textile has reduced, and engineering in EPC has increased. They are diversifying their business by getting into the solar and the defense and aerospace, which has better margins, and there is a huge revenue potential. The only thing which I didn't like, which I expected it would have been better, was the revenue growth. I expected it to at least to be close to around 40 to 50%, because they have given an overall yearly guidance to grow by almost close to 60%. So that is the only one thing I'm missing. But management said that they're going to achieve it. So I might be wrong or I might be right. I don't know. Let's wait for the Q2 and see how the revenue is growing. Because if it is grows again at the rate of around 20, between 20 to 30%, then it could be a problem. So if I was holding this company, in short, I wouldn't add more to my position. I would just wait and hold on and see how things are progressing. Are they actually on track to receive, to achieve this 60% growth or not? And if you guys like this analysis and the video, please do hit like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you and God bless you.